Your host, Lucas Tyndale. Excited to be here with you guys. Once again, I have two powerful, dynamic women in business today, and I can't wait for you guys to meet them. It's going to be a special episode. We did have a special guest host today, but unfortunately, she wasn't feeling well, Dr. Shamika Dean, and our hearts and prayers go out to her tonight, and we know she'll be doing better, and she will be back as a co-host one day soon. But we're going to keep the show going as always. Let us know when you get here. Say hello in the comments. Let me pull up the comments so I can make sure I see you guys when you say something. You may have a question for our guests today. I hope you want to support them, whether you're watching this live or by replay. Stay right here. Don't go anywhere. You're going to want to support these great women in business. You don't want to miss this opportunity. They are dynamic. We have the wonderful Miss Brianna Lehman, who is a great friend of mine for many, many years. We used to work together. She went on into real estate and has just done an amazing job. She helped my wife and I buy a house, so I have a personal testimony, a personal story about the work she can do. I mean, it was amazing. We only looked at two houses. I'm going to tell this story when she gets on. We only looked at two houses. She was on it for us, though. She wasn't playing around. And I was calling her, telling her to ask the sellers for everything. I was like, tell them to leave the dog. And she was like, nobody asked for all that. I was like, no, I want them to leave everything. No, we didn't want the dog, but we wanted everything. And we got so much. And it was such a great time. And she was just, she connected us with the right people and did everything she could to make it work. And it was just wonderful. Also, we have today the amazing Corey Minor-Smith. She's an author. She's an attorney. She's an advocate. I don't know if they're all A words, but she is like amazing. How about amazing? She's amazing. And she does so many wonderful things. I met Corey some time ago, but I remember her posters all over town when she was running for school board. I believe she'll correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Canton City School Board, and she was just everywhere. And it was amazing to see someone like her running for such an important position, and she's done so much in this city and beyond. She's going to talk to us about a special project she's doing with Charlemagne the God, host of The Breakfast Club. She is partnering with him to do some great work. She's been on The Breakfast Club before, and I always joke that wasn't as important as being here, right? She's been on some important shows, but I mean, she's been on my stuff, and I just feel like she feels like it's most important. I hope so. Anyway, she'll tell me it is. I hope. Hey, Miss J. Roman, glad you're here. Thank you for being here. So glad to have you. My comments here are really small. You see these comments there? I gotta fix that. What's that about? I gotta do something. So I'm gonna fix that and find out why my comments are so small. And I'm gonna go ahead and share this on my page. We're live on Lucas Live Media. Make sure you like and subscribe to Lucas Live Media. We try to go live to one place now. My wife asked me to do that forever. She said you should just go live to one place. Why are you going live so many different places? It's confusing. People end up in different rooms and they don't know where they're at, and they want to comment with people and they can't. So I know she's happy, and I always want to do what she thinks works because she's smart like that. You know, I want to trust her, and I'm working on that. I'm doing a great job, right? She's my helpmate, and she's an amazing helpmate. But gentlemen, let me say this to you guys out there. You got a helpmate and you don't let him help you, you're wasting what God gave you. And so many men, myself included at times, want to be in control, and our desire from control is stopping us from letting them be the great creators that they are. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And ladies and gentlemen, my wife and I also have a new show coming out this Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, called The Love Within. We're going to be talking about how to have healthy relationships, singles, couples, dating, married, wherever you're at. You guys don't want to miss the new show, 8 a.m. Friday morning, The Love Within. We're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be talking about individuals, how you as an individual can make the necessary improvements to have the healthy relationship you want. It's easy to look at the other person and say, we'd have a healthy relationship if they get it together. But the truth is, you'd have a healthier relationship if you got better. So we're going to focus on individual growth and development, and it's so exciting. I'm really excited about it. I'm so glad she was so happy and willing to be guest host and come on with me. Not just a guest host, co-host every time. She's going to be here with me every Friday, and I'm super excited about it. Shout out to Adriana Downing. I threw your comment up on the screen, and then I didn't even say hello. Adriana Downing, shout out to her. Where do I have? Do I have my Mind Your Business ad book? I don't think I have it right here with me, but shout out to her and the Mind Your Business ad book here in Stark, Summit County, Ohio. I can't wait for it to become a magazine. She was my first co-host here on the Fish Tank. She's still doing amazing things. Adriana, make sure you put out information on whoever you was tasting cheesecakes and cakes, you and your mom and your daughter yesterday on Facebook Live. And I didn't catch it live, but I watched the replay. I was laughing and having a great time with y'all. Your mom was like, don't give me all that. Just give me the peach cobbler. Is that peach cobbler cheesecake? I'll try some of that, but don't give me none of that because I don't want none of that. And you was like, give me the cookies because I ain't messing with that dairy. And I saw the whole thing. And your son was like, my leg itches and I want to move the camera, but I can't. And y'all was making the young man have to do all the work. It was all good though. It was hilarious and funny and fun. Make sure you guys check out Adriana Downing and everything she has going on. Shout out to her. Shout out to our good friend of the show, Jaysha Lilly, wonderful supporter. So glad you're here. Thank you as always. You are appreciated. To my lovely wife, Corinne Tyndale, she is here in the audience. She's always here when I'm doing shows and stuff. And sometimes I tell her, babe, you don't have to be on. You don't have to do this. I know you're busy. You have other stuff going on. And she's like, I'll be there. So I'm so glad she's always right here in my corner. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, honey. So glad. So glad. Adriana is saying facts and snapping. I might have been late. There might have been something else. My man, Damon Thomas. What's up, my man? Text you tomorrow anniversary, man. My man. All right, for sure. Glad you're here. Much love to you, my man. I know you're coming up on a year. So we should be in touch. We should be talking soon, my man. So glad you're here. Thank you, Damon. Appreciate it. And here, Adriana is saying, go to mybadbookonline.com and check out her bad book. Now, if you're on here and you haven't shared this broadcast yet, go ahead and share. And even to our guests who are waiting in the waiting room, if they're not on their phones, they can go ahead and share the broadcast on their page as well from Lucas Live Media. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys sharing and everybody watching this by replay. It's not too late to share. Even if you're watching this as a replay, you can share it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can send the link as a text. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, you can comment. You can share there on LinkedIn. Wherever you're coming from, please let other people know. Again, we have some phenomenal guests, and we want everybody to get a chance to meet them. So we're super excited about it tonight, and I can't wait to bring them on. So again, a couple things going on this week. I made a video yesterday. And I want to throw out a few things that are going on. So here at Lucas Live Media, I am partnering with Success Epitomized. This show is a partnership between Lucas Live Media and Success Epitomized. Shout out to Dr. Anthony Rodman and Jay Rodman and all the wonderful people at Success Epitomized. Dr. Rodman and I also do Success Epitomized presents The Final Answer on Wednesday evenings. Make sure you check that out. This week we have part 2 of the interview with NBA point guard Trey Burke. Amazing story. If you missed part 1, go watch part 1 as well. It's on YouTube at Lucas Live Media. No, it's on YouTube at Success Epitomized. Check out at Success Epitomized. Make sure you subscribe there on YouTube and Facebook as well. We also do a show called In God's Image Live, The Truth Revealed, on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Make sure you guys subscribe to that and check that out as well. And this week, I got a couple other things going on. So Friday morning, my wife and I are starting our new show, The Love Within. Single, dating, married, whoever you are, this show's for you. We're going to give you guys some new insight on how to have a healthy relationship. We're going to give you things. We've been doing this for years, but we know some things now that we didn't know before. Somebody out there has been, and I have the pleasure this Wednesday. I'm sorry, I know I'm throwing out a lot of stuff. I'm going to be speaking for the City of Joy. Shout out to Pastor Maceo and the great people at the City of Joy. I'm going to be speaking for their singles group in a Zoom meeting, and they do it in Zoom, and I'm going to be the speaker, and we're going to be talking about soul ties. And I can't wait. We're going to talk about soul ties. We're going to talk about what is that about, what's going on, how do you break those things, and I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun and so exciting. I had a call with them today, and I was just going. I was already in. I was like, just call the people, tell them, let's go now. But we're going to do that Wednesday evening. If you're interested in some information on that, let me know. I'll get you connected to the people there, and they can get you connected to the people there and get you guys going for that. So let me know. Inbox me. Reach out to me if you want more information about that. And tomorrow on Bounce Innovation Hub, if you go on Facebook to Bounce Innovation Hub and follow their page, like their page, I will be hosting live an event in Akron, and it is their Life is a Pitch special. And there's $3,000 on the line. It will be much like the Shark Tank. Yes, this is the fish tank. Tomorrow I will be hosting a Shark Tank style event live, and we'll be in the venue, and we will be bringing up 9 great small business owners, new business owners who went through a 15-week program, and now they get a chance to pitch their business for $3,000, and hopefully your support as well. That will be tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. And last but not least, this Saturday. I know I jumped around dates and y'all are like, which day is which? Just follow me. This Saturday, my beautiful wife and I are going to the prom, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to the prom. I got to ask my wife if she would go to the prom with me. We didn't get to do it when we were in high school, but we get to do it now. And I'm so excited. Now, I didn't do a whole promposal and all of that because I maybe next year, babe, I'll do a promposal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if if I got to get a ring for that or what. But anyway, we're going to McKinley's prom. We graduated from Camp McKinley, and they asked me to come back and do a live red carpet event to go live for the students. You know, it's a new day, new age, an opportunity to do something fun for the students. And they're coming out of COVID. They didn't have a prom last year. This year, they want to make it extra special. Special. So shout out to Mark Bigsby and his company, Total Media and Seatown Radio, and everything they have going on. They're going to be there as well, and we're going to have a great time. Shout out to Amanda Dukes, my producer, Dukes Multimedia. They will be there as well. So we're really excited about those things. I hope you guys are here. I was just looking on my phone, and I thought I froze. I saw myself on my phone frozen, and I was like, wait a minute. I hope we're still here. All right, so without any further delay, I'm going to bring on my first guest. You guys let me know you're still here in the comments. Make sure I'm not totally frozen. I see my guest. She's swiveling in her chair. That doesn't mean she's nervous. It means she's excited. And then she froze. She was like, wait, he saw me. How'd he know? All right. So our first guest is going to join us. She is a friend of mine. We've been friends for many years. I'm so proud of her and excited about everything she's doing. She is now a part of the Moochie Group with Keller Williams Legacy Group, the Moochie team with the Keller Williams Legacy Group. Welcome to the show, Miss Brianna Lehman. How are you
Hi,
today? Hello, hello, hello.
good.
So
I wasn't swerving because I was nervous. I'm in this room with time sensitive lights, and I'm like, these lights are going to turn off if I don't move. So I was like,
that's
don't,
hilarious. She's
don't
like,
go black on me
if
here.
you guys see her like doing some moves or something, she just trying to keep the lights on. She doesn't think she's on
Yeah.
TikTok. She's just trying to keep the lights on. All right.
No, no.
I was worried. I
Yes,
was like, what's
yes.
happening here? What's she doing? All right. So
I'm
I'm
good.
so excited to have you. I see people throwing
I'm
hearts
excited to be here.
in the comments. Somebody said Bree Sarah. Oh, that's my wife. My wife is commenting,
Oh, hey, Corinne.
but she's commenting as Lucas Live Media because she's also an administrator. So, it does weird stuff. It's okay. Bree Sarah, she loves you. Sending hearts in the comments.
Yes.
So
We'll address the name issue, okay? Because it does pertain to real estate and how this all went down. So we'll address that. But
it's so funny. It really is funny because I don't know if your coworkers, I know they were really excited about the show and shout out to them for their support
mhm,
on,
yes,
comments and
they're
everything.
very supportive.
That is amazing. And I know you as Sarah. I know I knew
Right.
your name is Brianna, of course, right? We worked together.
Hmm.
I think I processed payroll or
Yes.
something. You know what I mean? Like I knew your name. I think I
Yeah,
hired you. Did I? I think
you're
I
my
hired you.
boss.
I did.
You hired me. Yeah.
I had the wonderful opportunity of hiring you, and you were just a great, great worker. And it was for you and I, we worked together, and we worked with kids and families at Camp McKinley, McKinley Early Childhood Center. And you were someone who was not playing about the kids. You
Hmm.
were younger, you were maybe 19, 20, but you cared about the
Hmm.
kids, you cared about your job. So let's just start with that. And we'll get into your real
Okay.
estate and things like that. When you get into a job or get into doing something, where did this work ethic come from? This idea that I'm going to give my all, I'm going to be great. I'm not just going to do the bare minimum. Where did that come from for you?
Well, my parents and my mom, especially, she's 65 and she works three jobs still to this day.
Wow.
Like she never stops. So, and you even know when I worked at the center, my mom was heavily involved with the kids as well.
Yep.
There's six of us kids. I have five brothers and sisters. We all have kids. So, kids are it for us, But working at the center, it was like these were my kids. We were there 12 hours a day with them, and I got to know them and their families. Some of them I still see, and I follow some of them on social media. And I'm like, how did you become an adult? But,
What
so,
happened?
and
Yeah.
working with, yes, and you and Amanda and even Mr. O'Nay, who I still see,
Yes. Yes.
you guys all cared so much that how could you not care working in that environment? Like we watched those babies grow up and even still. So
We did. It really
yes.
was a labor of love, and there were hard days. I mean, there were days we
Yes.
were like, "What is happening? Is this real? Is this life?" You know, we'd give our all, and the parents would be mad at us about something small. We're like,
Yes.
"How could they be mad?" But I remember also. So you went from the classroom, and then you came to
Mhm.
the office, which there wasn't a whole lot of office positions at the daycare,
Right. Right.
but you were someone who who we saw as someone who could potentially come help us out in the office from an administrative level. And I just remember you, Jonay, and of course Amanda, Brittany, some your poise in dealing with complicated situations like
Mhm.
ratios and kids, and we got to move this around, and these parents aren't coming, or they are coming, or so many
Yeah.
different things, so many different scenarios, and you were always so poised, and you were always so like mature and wise beyond your years. It was like, how old are you again? Like I'd be like, and I mean, I wasn't the oldest person, and I started very young as well, but I was like,
Yeah.
how old is she? Like this is so rare. So shout out to your
Mhm.
parents and the great job they did in
Thanks.
preparing you for
No,
that.
for sure. Yes.
So, do
Yes.
you remember? And I don't remember exactly what the day was or what was going on. I do remember you coming to me saying you wanted to go to school for real estate.
Hmm.
So, help us understand what that was like. Somebody out there is considering becoming a realtor,
Yes.
going to school for real estate, to be a real estate agent and really get into it.
Mhm.
What was that decision like for you? Do you remember where you were at in life, and where how did you make that choice?
So it was actually something that my mom suggested. One day we're probably watching one of those HGTV shows, which is not real estate at all.
Oh,
But and she said like, "Oh, my sister's on."
I see
She
her.
said,
Hey,
"Hey, Jess."
Jessica. I went to school with her. I did. That is very funny. She's right. We went to Lehman and McKinley together, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
now you're her little sister, which just seems weird to me, but all good. You know,
Yeah.
you're her little sister. It's all good. Hey, Jessica. All right. So, yes. So
Yeah.
you were saying
So
HGTV,
yeah,
you're
just
watching.
like yeah, my mom just mentioned like, "Oh, this would be something that you'd be good at." And I was like, "Yeah, and that was I think still even when I was in high school. So it was always in the back of my head. Went to college, did the thing, started working at the center. And I don't remember. I think actually it was an ad somewhere that said like, "Hey, go to the Ohio Real Estate School in Medina." And when I clicked on it, it was cheap enough that I was like, "Hey, I can do this." And I had no idea what that meant. I was like, I'm just going to sign up for these night classes after I'm done at the center each night and then do it. And I got pregnant. And while I was in classes, I was pregnant at that time. And then I remember thinking, like, this is awesome. I'm going to have all the freedom. I can have my baby at home. I can sell real estate, make great money, and do this. And 7 years later, that's where we are. And of course, that took a lot of hard times and craziness along the way, but it was really just like, hey, I got to do this now or never. And it was actually going on maternity leave from the center that gave me that little boost of, I'm not coming back. I just have to step out and do this. And I did that. So
I
it
love
was
it.
crazy.
I mean, it's amazing because a lot of times, especially with real estate, a lot of times people see that as some level of freedom, an opportunity.
Hmm.
School is relatively affordable, and the time you have to go to school is not, 4 years or
Correct.
6 years or 8 years or
Yes.
anything crazy. So people think they can do it, and no disrespect to people who've tried or people who are thinking about it. We're here to inspire you
Right.
today with her story. And a lot of people struggle to actually make that dream a reality. So let's talk about it. When you first got into real estate, what was life like? Like, I don't know, you don't come, do you walk into real estate and you get with an agency and they're like, here's a book of business. Here you go. Here's 100 people who want to buy houses already. Just call them. They're waiting for you. Or what is it like when you first get in?
So 7 years ago when I got in, and maybe it was, but I wasn't aware of, it wasn't really team oriented. Like now I work on a team. So I work for Jen Mucci and she's kind of our rainmaker and she she's like the listing side and then we're buyers agents. But at that time that was not, and again, maybe it was, but I was not aware of it.
Okay.
And I didn't shop brokerages. Like that's a huge thing that I always tell. Like the first thing I tell people when they're like, "Hey, we're thinking about real estate." interview as many brokerages as possible because I did not. I just went for the first one and I was just a fish out of water. I had no idea, thrown into a shark tank to figure out in this crazy new industry that is very cutthroat even then. Um, so that definitely shot for brokerages, but where I work now, like Keller Williams, there's so much training. They really pride themselves in training their agents and giving them that support, telling them, like teaching them about the market and giving them the tools that you need to succeed.
Yeah.
So that I think that that's definitely developed now. And it's very team oriented. There's teams everywhere. Almost every agent I know that is extremely successful has been or is on a team and then branched off and just got the ball rolling that way,
I love it.
which I wish I would have done. But
From day one. I love that you said
yes,
shop
yes,
brokerages, right? So you're saying you come
yes.
out of school, you take your test, you become a licensed agent, correct? And I think I
Correct.
remember that process. You were like, I'm taking my test. I got my test coming up. And I was like, you got this. We probably prayed about it and everything. We're like, you got this. You're going to do it.
Yes, we did. Yes.
And then you got your license. And so it seems like, and this is the idea a lot of people have, a lot of people look at everything as though they're lucky to have an opportunity. I'm lucky to get a job. I'm lucky that a brokerage would want me. But what you're saying
Right.
is, whoa, 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 slow down a little bit. They need us. They need the realtors
Yes.
to go make this thing work. Don't just assume the first
Absolutely.
person that says, oh, you're fresh out. I got your name on a list of people and come work for us because we're the best ever. You say don't do it.
Yeah,
Shop around.
for sure. You're interviewing them, and that's what I didn't realize back then. And I was 22, had no idea. Again, I worked with little kids. Now jumping into working with a whole industry of craziness, but
Right.
definitely interview because they all offer something different. And it's what's the culture that you're going to work in? What's the environment? Who works there? What's it like? So
Right. That's
for
important.
sure.
I like that. I like that. All right. So, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen out there, somebody who's thinking about, um, going into real estate, think about it. Think about what it means
Mhm.
to go in and actually take control of your career. And it's important because a lot of times we don't, I mean, in general, we don't take control of our careers, right? I think a lot of people are waiting. So, as a real estate agent, do you work for Keller Williams? Do you work for Brianna Lehman? What is the balance? What are your responsibilities? Somebody out there is like, I want to do it. I think it means
What
you work
is
for
it?
yourself. What's the deal? What's it like?
So ultimately, well, I work with Jen Mucci at Keller Williams Legacy Group. So Keller Williams is our brokerage. That is my
Okay.
broker. That is my home. And then I work on Jen Mucci's team. And so when I'm out, I'm representing myself, but I'm also representing Jen. And then Jen is a representation of us on her team as well, which is one of the reasons why I love working for her. I mentioned to you before the show that she's so community oriented. Right now, she's doing the run for Not for Sale, the human trafficking, or, to raise awareness on human trafficking here in Stark County in Ohio. So I represent myself because I make my own schedule. I represent my buyers. I get a lot of referrals, but then she's also trusting me with her friends and family and vice versa. So it's
It's a
we
combination.
all work together.
I
Yes,
love
yes, as a
it.
team.
I love that. And shout out to Marcus McFoling
Hey
here.
Marcus.
Shout out to Marcus. Did you know Marcus before me and you failed to introduce me? I feel like I don't know.
I knew Marcus from Dan from back in the day. He was friends with Dan. We
That is
all knew each other, Lucas, and then we just didn't know that we all.
I can't
It's
believe
fun.
I can't believe you knew a Marcus McFoling and didn't introduce me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
anyway, it's okay. I think the first time I heard Marcus McFoling's name, somebody said I was meeting with Corey in another group and we were talking about podcasting and somebody said his name and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then I saw him in the barbershop a couple days later and I was like, hey Marcus, we're gonna be friends. My name is Lucas, you're Marcus, we're gonna be, and he was like, yes, we are. And we've been friends ever since. It's all good. Shout out to Marcus.
Yep.
Gotta have you on the show, my man. Love him and everything that he's doing. Shout out to Marcus McFoley. You guys
Hmm.
make sure you follow him, check him out as well.
Sure.
So let's talk about, okay, so my wife and I, let me tell this quick story. My wife said, let's buy a house. And I
Mhm.
said, Okay, right? Like I mean, I wanted to too, but I was like, I was the one looking at the budget all the time, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know, like certainly we wanted to move to a different school district. We had a lot of love for the district we were in, but our kids were having some issues and some things were going on, so we were looking to make a change. And we decided we were going to look in the North Canton area. We went to church in North Canton, and then our kids had some friends here, and we had some people who were family to us. So we were like, let's look out there. And we called you, and we were like, we want to start looking. And
Yeah.
I was very apologetic because I thought this was going to be like a 2-year thing where you were going to be like running us around, or like I didn't even know what it was like anymore, meeting us at all these places, and we were going to be trying to get our lives together to make it work. And
Hmm.
of course, you were like, you're like, if it takes 2 days or 2 years, I don't care. I love spending time with you guys. We'll make it work. And the house that I'm in right now, I am in my office is in one of 5 bedrooms in a house in North
Hmm.
Canton. The fact that first of all, we weren't looking for 5 bedrooms. I think we wanted 4 because we had 3 kids
Yeah.
3 of our kids were living with us. And we're like, if they could all get their own room, that would be ideal. And then somehow you find us this 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom house, and we're like, how? No, we can't. We don't even want to look at it. We can't possibly afford it. And you were very confident, like, don't be afraid. And you encouraged us to
Right.
come check it out. Everything wasn't perfect when we came in, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on
Hmm.
that. When people look at houses, we looked at the house. The people before us had lots of animals, so the house smelled like lots of animals. They
Right.
had different tastes than us. They
Right.
like apparently like wallpaper and red carpet in some rooms or something weird. And two
And
tone out.
bees. Weren't there bees? Like there were bees. Just they housed bees, which is great. They're saving the honeybees, but we were like, okay, the bees gotta go. When you gotta take the bees because
I
we're not,
forgot about
that's just
that.
not it.
These are the
Yeah.
things. Shout out to my guy Larry Barney. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, my man. Yeah, that was funny
Mhm.
because yeah, there were little things, right, as a realtor that people don't think about.
Yeah.
They were
Right.
harvesting bees. So we come to the house, there's
Mhm.
bees. I mean, they were doing it outside, but still, we
Right.
walk around the house and we're like, "What's up with all these bees?" And they were like, "Those are our friends." We were like, "All right, don't
Yes.
let's
Yep.
not mess with them." Again, shout out to
Yep.
those who are
Yep.
conserving whatever that does.
Yeah.
Bees have a purpose, so it's all good.
They do.
They were
Yes.
also they were also like collecting butterflies and other stuff. Like
Yeah.
they were
Hmm.
growing weeds on purpose. And we're
Yes.
like,
Yes. They were.
what
Yeah.
is happening here? And it was rough. It was rough. But talk to us briefly, and we're almost at the end of your
Okay.
time, but talk to us briefly about helping buyers see past what they're looking at, helping them understand. You told us if a house has good structure, I will tell you. If a house is a solid investment, I will let you know. If it's not, I will tell you. I will not let you get
Right.
something that's going to fall apart, and we'll make sure, of course, we get it inspected and everything. Talk to us a
Yes,
little
for
bit
sure.
about how you help buyers make this the biggest purchase they're probably ever going to make in their life,
Yeah.
or one of two, because maybe they'll do it again in the future. How do you go about helping people make that decision when everything doesn't necessarily look perfect?
Well, it's weird to say this, but 2 years ago when you bought, we were in a totally different market. So we
Uh-huh.
had a little bit more leverage. Like you asked them for their dog, well, you would be giving them your dog at this point in the market. You'd
At the
be
time when
saying
we
like,
bought,
well, you like we asked them for so much stuff, and now today you'd be like, please let me give you my dog. Like let
oh
accept
wow,
my
right,
offer at this point because it
right,
is crazy.
wow,
But um I always do a buyer's consultation. I inspections are the biggest thing that I talk to my buyers about at that time. Like you are going to have an inspection.
yes,
And in that inspection, there are going to be things, and every inspection report has something. And you and I together, we're going to talk about the things that are general maintenance, not as scary. And if there are scary things, we're going to talk about that too. That's why you have an inspection. And I think that that helps ease because if you just throw your buyer in there and they're getting this inspection report that they did not expect, then everything is scary. And it is a huge investment. So, being honest, having the conversation, following their lead. I never want a
mm,
buyer to feel like I am pressuring them. They know what they're comfortable with and what they're not. I'm not buying the house. So this is your investment. What are
I love
you
that.
comfortable with? And I get them in touch with every person I can that, hey, you need a
Dig.
contractor, we'll get you one. Well, we have the contacts to do that. So
You need
just making
help with
sure that,
financing, everything. You connected us to
yes,
people who, based on their trust for you, worked great with us and just helped us through the whole process. And it was incredible. So I can't thank you enough for that. If you could tell the people out there, one, how let them know, your position as a buyer's agent. Did I say the right
yeah,
one? I had to
yes,
pause.
yes,
I'm like,
yes,
I always say the wrong one. We were the buyers, so I know you're a buyer's agent. You're a buyer's
yeah.
agent.
Mhm.
Again, let everybody know who you work for, what you can do for them, and how they can contact you.
Okay, so I work for Jen Mucci at Keller Williams Legacy Group. I am a buyer's agent, which just means I exclusively work with buyers. However, Jen represents the listing side. So we are a team. I can still be involved in that process. And if you have even slightly thought about selling, please, please, it
Now's
is
the
the
time.
time. We need you. Yes, for sure. You can contact me. Lucas, you can put my contact information up, even
All
my,
right.
my cell phone number. It's been the same since I was in eighth grade, so it's not changing anytime soon.
Not going anywhere.
Email me, yeah, message me on my Facebook or my business page. I am around. And even if you're just looking at, hey, what could my home be worth? Hey, what's the market like? You want to talk about maybe you're not ready to purchase today, but 6 months to a year, it's still worth a conversation, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it.
I love it. I love it. Brianna, Sarah, Lehman, my good friend, thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to have you back. Maybe we do one with your
Of course.
team, some others. Let's get
Yeah,
some
for sure.
support for you guys. They were so kind to support, and they were so excited for you, and I loved seeing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay here with
Yes,
us. We're going to
thanks for
bring you
having
back
me. Yes.
on. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And we're going to
Yeah.
go. Um, we want to thank Brianna again. I muted my mic. I did it on purpose. We want to thank her again for being here today. And you guys make sure you check her out. Brianna Lehman. She is on social media and the Mucci group, the Mucci team at the Keller Williams Legacy Group. They're doing great things. So you guys make sure you check them out. Shout out to Miss Gloria Pope. Glad you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Without any further delay, we want to welcome our next guest. She is dynamic. She's every A, including amazing. Author, attorney, advocate, leading authority on mental health and wellness. Let's welcome to the show my good friend, Miss Corey Miner. I'm going to unmute her mic before I bring her on. Miss Corey Miner Smith. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Mike. How are you? Thank you for having me tonight.
I'm super excited to have
Mhm.
you. You were one of the first guests on Lucas Live. You were the first returning guest. You were the first co host. You've had a lot of special moments with me, and I want to thank you so much for all of those things. So, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you very much for having me all those special times. I appreciate it.
It was so much fun. You guys make sure you go back and check out. Make sure everybody is subscribed to Lucas Live Media on YouTube and following on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere you can. Sometimes people go to YouTube all the time, but they don't subscribe. Log in with your login information, your Gmail, your Google information. That's how you log into YouTube. Everybody, I'm sure, knows that. And just subscribe. Those subscriber counts matter. Having those eyes and ears on the broadcast matter. And everybody watching on Facebook, we really appreciate it. We have people here. Miss Best West, my good friend here, is in the comments. Miss Shanti West says, "Hi, Queen." My wonderful wife, Corinne, says, "Corey with lots of hearts." And Miss Gloria Pope is here celebrating you
Hi.
as well. So, Corey, all right, there's so much we could talk about. I mean, we've done our shows easily just talking about your life and advocacy and work. So
Yeah.
today we don't have an hour, but let's take some time to get into it. Corey, what's new? Let's start with what's new for you. What are you working on? what's been going on with you lately?
Sure. So my newest project is called We've Got Answers. It's an Audible original. For anyone who doesn't know what Audible is, it's a platform where you can listen to books. So you remember we would go to the library and check out CDs or books on tape.
Right.
Now you can go online or through this app called Audible and listen to books. And so there's a special project that was created by Charlemagne the God. He is one of the hosts of The Breakfast Club and inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. And he has a New York Times bestselling book called Shook, where he talks about his experiences with mental health concerns and sharing, his personal experiences with anxiety and things of that nature. But this project is really touching on race and creating a safe space to discuss race. Many people find it uncomfortable to talk about race,
right,
but they find that they have questions, particularly of African Americans or Blacks in this country. So this platform allowed for a safe space for specifically white people to ask questions of Black people and to do so in a safe space.
Where they weren't going to get hurt. You said a safe space. Like, you can't just ask that in the grocery store now. You got to come into a safe space. Don't just be walking up to people talking about what's going on with your hair. Don't do that now. So you guys created a place where people literally are, there's interviews. And you said there's the guy interviewing is leading this thing. Tell us about him.
Yes, his name is James Altucher, and he has a very popular podcast on Sirius XM, and he's also an author of like 25 books. But he asked many of the questions. A lot of my subject matter, of course, was mental health. And I talk about that from the aspect of a lot of African Americans who have mental health concerns and may have, the stigma or lack of knowledge about mental illness and how to address it. But specifically how individuals who are Black and have mental illness are treated differently in the criminal justice system. As well as some other issues in the community that don't factor in the mental health concerns that someone may be experiencing, like having a mental health crisis at the time that law enforcement arrives. And unfortunately, people have died from those types of situations. And it could have been de-escalated in a de-escalated and the person still live.
Yeah.
So I talk about that. So you got to go to Audible and listen to it.
Check it out at Audible. I have an Audible account. I was telling Corey, I think I have like 11 or 12 credits. I used to get Audible books every month, so I signed up. Audible is owned by Amazon, so it's easy to get that stuff and download audiobooks, and you can subscribe $10, $15 a month. It's less than Netflix, I think, and you can get books every month, or you can just log on and purchase one thing without a subscription, or you can get a free trial and purchase this and hear these conversations. And our very own Corey Minor-Smith is a part of that. So, Corey, you were also on The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
That's a radio show that most people know about. It's nationally syndicated. It's a big deal. So what is it like getting opportunities like that to go advocate for the things you care most about?
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss mental health, particularly severe mental illness, because a lot of people don't know about the symptoms or may have seen it and not understood what it was. And that's how I started off at first, not knowing. And with my experience, I learned from my lived experience with my mother, who lives with severe mental illness, and I had to learn along the way. So I'm sharing what I've learned with other people who have a loved one living with severe mental illness, letting them know that there are free resources available. And we have no shame. We should not have any shame in using the resources. It doesn't make us any less of a Christian or whatever your religious belief is. Yeah. It doesn't make you less than reliant upon that spiritual connection for healing, but also to embrace what is available in the community for resources.
I love that. And I think it's really important because a lot of times we are allowing our faith to stop us from getting help, support, understanding. I mean, I agree. I think that it's not anti what I believe to get support in what I need. I don't think it is. And I think there are There's a lot that we can learn, even inside of every faith that people can learn. One faith teaches us to meditate. Well, that's probably good if we spend a little bit more time in meditation, and listening to that, to our higher power. And another one, is saying pray and ask for more. Well, good. You should probably ask for things that are within your right to ask for, things that you need in your life. That's good. But I think at the end of the day, we also need each other collectively to support each other and help each other in these ways. And I love that you're such an advocate. And your story is amazing. And we won't get into all the details today. If people want to hear it, it's available. It's in your book. We talked about it before on Lucas Live, a previous episode. You guys can check that out. But tell us a little bit about your book as well, because that was something that was a pouring out, it seems as though, for you. So if you could tell us a little bit about your book as well.
Sure. I use my book, #Driven, as a resource for families and friends who have a loved one living with severe mental illness. As I grew up and matured in learning about mental illness, I wanted to know how family members help their loved one. And so one of the first resources that was available to me and that I connected to was a TV movie called Out of Darkness, and it stars Diane, where she portrays a character named Polly, who started experiencing signs of severe mental illness in the midst of her medical school career. So this can happen to anybody at any given time. Mental illness does not discriminate. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your socioeconomic status. Anybody can be impacted at any given time. And I'm often asked, whether I am concerned about my mental health and if I were to become severely mentally ill, and the statistics, if you will. And please, I'm not a doctor and in no way in the medical field.
She is an attorney, though, so she knows how to tell you she's not a doctor. That's good. I like that.
I'm giving my disclaimer.
Very good. Very good. That was the attorney in her. Uh-huh.
Right. But my lived experience, as well as my master's degree in guidance and counseling, education, guidance and counseling, where I studied from the DSM-4. Now the DSM-5 is used. So with that being said, I'm just sharing about severe mental illness, specifically schizophrenia. And as a child with a mother who has schizophrenia, I have a very small percentage of a chance of becoming schizophrenic. I have a higher risk for breast cancer than I do becoming schizophrenic. So the age that someone may start showing signs of schizophrenia may be between 17 and 23. So different illnesses have different symptoms. And even if you have the same diagnosis as someone else, it doesn't mean you're going to experience and exhibit the same symptoms. So I just encourage people to learn as much as they can. I have a mental health guide that I offer to people, and you could go to my website, CoreyEmpowers.com, and request to have one sent to you. And also, Lucas, just for your audience tonight,
yes,
the first 3 people that send their email addresses who do not have a subscription to Audible, I can give them a special link so that they can watch or listen to We've Got Answers, just because they tuned in for our show today.
I love it. I love it. Where can they send it? Should they say it in the comments? How do they tell us? They email you? How do they put their name in the hat?
Yes, they can send an email to cms@CoreyEmpowers.com.
I'm going to type that in, CMS@CoreyEmpowers.com. You guys, the first 3 people who send their email here can get a free subscription to Audible and be able to check out the great series that Corey did that was created by Charlamagne the God. You guys, make sure you guys check that out. CMS@CoreyEmpowers.com. Send your emails. Don't log off right now and miss the show because you're over there sending emails. If you do it too soon, we talk about you. If you send it before 8:00 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be like, don't count. But all good, you guys. Make sure you check that out. If you don't have an Audible subscription and you want to be one of the first 3, do that. But if you jumped off, come back. So we appreciate it. We're excited about that opportunity. Very kind of you. Thank you so much, Corey, for blessing the audience with that today. Thank you.
And was Larry? Is it Larry Barney?
Larry Barney,
He
good
put
friend of
this
mine.
in the chat, so we'll take that. So 2 more, and I'm looking
Uh-oh.
at the time of emails
Shout out to Larry.
on my.
Larry, I like it. Larry, you won one, my man. See, I see Ashanti West said she just sent hers and she's back on. All right. Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job. We'll check it out. We'll let you know. And Corey will be in touch with you guys, letting you guys know who received that prize. Those top 3 people, we thank you guys so much. And if you haven't shared this broadcast, you should share this broadcast too, because we really appreciate that. And it gets the word out to more people. And even after the broadcast is over, tell somebody about it. Let them know. Say, make sure you guys check this out, because what Corey's doing, what Brianna's doing, what so many other powerful women in business are doing, and so many others matters. Corey, when you think about being a female everything, you are an everything. You're an attorney, you're an author, you work with mental health issues. What is it like? And I am a big advocate for women. If people watch my show, I just thought about this the other day. Since starting this show, I think I've had one man on, I think, like Sean Strong. I don't know if I've had any other men. I'm like, I don't know. But I'm a mama's boy to the core. I have 3 daughters, my wife. I'm just an advocate for women. I believe women are just the most powerful beings in the universe. I just think God did something special when he created women. And I think a lot of times in society, the most powerful people often get pushed down because the system has things upside down. So the system is always trying to oppress those that are actually powerful because maybe they know that and they're afraid of the power. When you think about being a female who does all that you do, what does it mean? And to a female out there watching, what would you tell someone about not letting things limit them? You seem to not letting things stop you.
Wow, that is a powerful question and loaded.
Yes.
Okay. But first of all, Lucas, I thank you for being an ally and advocate for women.
Absolutely.
And empowering women and sharing and celebrating women and their skills and talents.
Yes.
And just being an encourager. So for me, I really appreciate you saying first everything, because
Yes.
I was on a virtual conference for women of color who are attorneys. It's called Corporate Counsel Women of Color. And it was a financial panel. So women were on there, with female attorneys were talking about investing and things of that nature. So that's not something that's a part of my wheelhouse,
Right.
knowing about anything from, family or anything like that. So another lawyer put in the chat, is anybody on here a first generation lawyer? And I responded, I'm a first generation everything.
Right? I'm the first to do it all.
Yes. So it really inspired me to really think about that. You have people who are first generation students, first college students, just not necessarily, they are navigating and creating the path as they go. They may not have examples set before them and things of that nature. So I created an exclusive group. It's called Driven You, the Driven You community, just for people who are first generation everything and or may have experienced ACEs. Have you ever heard of ACEs, Lucas?
Adverse childhood experiences. Is that what ACEs stand? This is the Jeopardy question. All right. Yes.
So you talk about obstacles. Many of us have lived through adverse childhood experiences.
Absolutely.
And so anyone who has read my book or heard me speak, that I lived in 3 states, at least 8 households, 14 schools, and moved at least 21 times before I was accepted to college. Those are tremendous obstacles and social issues that a lot of students face, because on top of that, there was food insecurity. And I know you all talked about working at the McKinley Early Childhood Center. And my oldest son went there. That's the one that's on Cherry, right?
Yeah, we were in Old McKinley High School.
Cherry, across from Fisher's.
Yeah, we were in the Old McKinley High School, and then we moved across from Cherry. Okay. He went to the one on Cherry.
So
or he was in the
one on Cherry.
Oh no, you know what? That was Canton City Schools had an early childhood center there as well. So that might have been that. But I'm like, I don't remember me. I was there in 2001. Maybe it was. I don't know. But yes. Okay, so
we 25 now, and that was a great foundation to start in that program. But at any rate, just being on a school board, I know you talked about seeing my signs, and yes, the school board was one of the political elections that I was involved in, but it really meant a lot to me because I felt like it gave me an opportunity to amplify the voices of so many families. Many times households, parents, whoever has, who are the caregivers of the children, are criticized for issues of poverty. And it's important for those who are in leadership positions to understand that everybody doesn't live the same way. And it's not necessarily because they don't want better. You know, all of us strive for a higher quality of life, but we live where we can afford to live. And if you don't have a job that pays a living wage, or, you know, you have been limited in your education and may not have been able to go on further, we can't criticize others. We need to help let them know about the resources that are available in the community. Many of them are free to help us to elevate in our lives and to increase our quality of life.
I love that. And your advocacy doesn't end for those suffering from mental health issues, to the schools, to the community, to others who are taking on offices and other things in the community. You're just someone who sees the need to not only lead things, but also support others who are doing great things so that collectively we can move forward and do better things. And your background, the interesting thing to me, and it's funny because when I just knew you as the lady on the sign, okay, when I didn't know you, you were just that lady. I was like, I'm voting for her. And I remember I did. I was like, I don't know. She seemed like she knows what she's doing. The way she smiled nice. I think she gonna be good. No, you were on the radio. You did so many things to share your message, and it was so powerful. And then when I met you, I was like, my thought was not that you wouldn't be down to earth, but you have accomplished so much that it just makes you seem so like lofty, like this. I don't know if she's just going to be like this down to earth person. And I met you and I'm like, she is the most down to earth person you could meet or imagine. And I was just blown away that you've accomplished so much, but you have such a grace about you when it comes to it. You don't treat people as though, well, I've done so much. So, you know, I mean, Les Brown wrote the forward to your book and you don't, but you just are like, I'm here to help. And you know, I was mad at you for that. But I mean, we got over that because I wanted to meet Les Brown and you didn't tell me. Anyway, we got over it. But your humility, your grace, the way you carry yourself, the way you treat people. And we're going to bring Brianna back on in just a second. But talk to us just quickly about who Corey is. I mean, when people are looking to purchase books, listen to your Audible, the show that you were a part of, support you in any way. The question people want to know is, who are you? Why should I support you? Who are you really? If you could tell people just who you are at the core, why you are such a down to earth person, what would you say to someone?
I truly appreciate you saying that I'm down to earth, because I know, you know, people think I'm standoffish or whatever, you know, they perceive just by
it's a perception,
my outward appearance. So I do appreciate those who take the time to get to know me. But as far as who I am someone who is just passionate about helping people to improve the quality of life. And why? Because it's something that I want, you know, and I didn't know the way. So whatever tidbits of information I have gathered along the way, I'm trying to share it with others, and especially youth in the community, because there were adults who did that for me. And had it not been for those adults, I wouldn't have had little, little candy pieces, if you will. I'm thinking of what's that, Hansel and Gretel?
Right. The breadcrumbs dropped.
The wrong place, but I'm being led to the right place.
I love it. Yes, Hansel and Gretel. That's how they found their way home. Yes.
Yeah. There was a time that I strayed off trying to fit in, you know, being really a part of the mean girl crowd and doing some things that were definitely not good. But what I appreciate is that God helped me to see that it wasn't good and want to change my ways. So as one of the first editors that read my book had said, you know, you went from JD to JD. I had no clue what he was talking about, but he meant a juvenile delinquent to the Juris Doctorate. Wow. So I went from JD to JD, and I share some of the things that I was involved in because I know our youth some of them are involved in these things, and they may feel, or people around them may make them feel that that's all that their life is going to be, because that's what they're involved in now. Maybe they were sent to the juvenile attention center. Maybe they were charged with a crime. You know, maybe a young lady becomes pregnant, and people will quickly give up on you, right? You know, I had my oldest son my senior year in college. There were people who gave up on me.
Wow.
But I truly appreciate the people who helped me to graduate in 4 years, because I would not have been able to do it without other students, his father. And at that time, my mother was doing okay, and she had helped as well. So it's a team approach.
I love it.
Even when you're married, it's a team approach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I everybody out there, I mean, you are, I think, and Amanda said in the comments, sometimes and again, I think sometimes this is a female thing. I think when a woman has accomplished as much as you, for whatever reason, they're given this title of like being standoffish, stuck up or something, because someone who has accomplished less than you might be acting that way. And so they're like, well, if she did all that, she's got to be standoffish. But it's not true at all. Very approachable, very kind, and a serious advocate to help those in need, period, across the board. So I thank you for your service to the community. Thank you for everything you're always doing. I got to have you back as a co-host. I think we already talked about it. I don't know if we got the date locked in, but just, I'm going to text you, and just be like, yes, I appreciate that. All right. So come back and do it. Now I want to bring Miss Brianna Lehman back on. We promised we would have her back. How you doing back there? How are you doing backstage? You doing good? Oh, wait, I think she's muted. That would be, say that one, whatever you just said, say it one more time.
I said you had me muted. That's what I said.
Oh, no.
I was hoping you could read my lips. Wow. No, Corey, you are so inspiring. Like sitting here listening, I'm like, why did Lucas put me on the same show as this?
You're inspiring too. You're both inspiring.
Oh my gosh. And one thing that I definitely want to say I appreciate too.
And her story. Sorry, Brianna. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'm definitely going to subscribe to your Audible too, because I think it is so important for everybody to be able to join the conversation and feel welcome to it, because I think that that's a lot of times why people stay in their ignorance, because they don't want to be embarrassed, like, oh, well, now I'm late to the party. But just get there, and the fact that there are amazing people like you that are saying, please come, please join this, whether you're late or you've been here, we want you, like that is amazing, and that's huge. I mean, that's great. I'll definitely be sharing that and being a part of that as well, because it's important.
That. Wow. I thank you for saying that, Brianna. And you're a person who has always, it's tricky when people say, like, I don't see color, because a lot of times what they're saying is, I don't recognize you for your culture, for your life, for things you've been through. But you're a person who truly see it, and you respect everyone, and you love everyone, and you've always been like that. And it's almost, I don't know, it's hard to explain, knowing you all these years, where it's like, where were you raised? Sometimes, I mean, I know you were from Canton, but it's always like you're comfortable in all settings with all people. And you treat people like people. You treat people like people who deserve love and respect. And that's what the call is. The real call is for all of us to wake up and realize the value of people, because God did not say, I'm going to separate you based on your color and make you guys all fight. That's not a God thing. That is an enemy thing. That is a demonic concept that we're fighting over something we can't even control, while not controlling the things we can control, which is how we treat each other. And so for you both to be here today is just amazing for me. Again, you guys know I'm a huge supporter of business, and this show is about business. I'm a supporter of people, though, first and foremost. And I'm a supporter of women who are doing amazing things, because I really, really, really think you guys are more powerful than anybody can imagine. I was telling a friend of mine the other day that we were talking about relationship stuff. I'm always helping people with their relationship stuff. And he said, and I said, you realize that the most powerful piece on the chessboard is the queen. Like, that's not something somebody made up. That's real. The queen, Now, once the king is taken, the game is over, but the queen actually is protecting the king. And that's a powerful analogy that we need to keep in mind. And you two powerful queens have been amazing today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. And Corey, I don't know if somebody's managing your social media for you or you have extra hands, but somehow she's also in the comments. I don't know what's going on here. I do a lot, but I don't understand what's happening. But I'm gonna just keep rolling. I don't know. She's in multiple places at once. She also knows how to do amazing things. So, parting words from both of you. Brianna, I'll start with you because I'm sure you're going to say, don't put me after Corey. I could hear you thinking that.
Yeah,
so
no. Yes.
parting
yes.
words to people out there. How can they follow you? What can you do for them? Let them know.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me here today. Again, you can follow me on my Facebook page, my personal page, or my business page. Reach out to me. I am here to answer any questions in real estate. I can sell real estate all in Ohio, and we have an amazing referral base. So if you're not in Ohio, you can still reach out to us and we can get you in touch with the people that you need to be in touch with. But I am always here and I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Corey, to you, parting words.
Yes, I would like to just give a shout out to all the educators and people who work in the school districts, because you have a very, very, very important role in the lives of children. And I would especially like to give a shout out to Miss Norma Washington, who I often mention, but she was one of those educators that did beyond helping students like me to apply for college when I didn't know how to do that, and apply for scholarships and grants because I did not know how to do that. As a FGE, first generation everything. But I'll close out with my life's motto that I adapted from 2 words that she mentioned back when I was a senior at Temkin Senior High School. She told me I had what she called undesirable circumstances. So just imagine, we talked about adverse childhood experiences, whatever the negatives could be. You know, we hear about things on the news all the time. But from those 2 words, I created this phrase: don't allow undesirable circumstances to be excuses for you to fail, but allow them to be reasons for you to fail. Thank you so much for having me. Nice meeting you, Brianna.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for everything that you taught us today, because it was amazing.
Thank you guys both. You guys.
Everybody can follow me at Corey Empowers on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn, of course, because I learned the importance of LinkedIn from Lucas.
That's right. That's right. Check it out. At Corey Empowers. Check her out. And Brianna Lehman, you guys, make sure you check them out. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. My guests, stay right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for being here on another episode of The Fish Tank. It's been so much fun, as always. Whether you're watching live or watching by replay, we thank you guys for your love and support. Continue to check us out. Make sure you subscribe to Lucas Live Media and Success Epitomized so you guys can stay tuned to everything going on. We have a busy week this week. Also, check out Bounce Innovation Hub. Tomorrow night, I'll be hosting their Life is a Pitch $3,000 small business competition live in the venue. It's going to be fun. And this Saturday, I'll be live at the Prom, Canton McKinley. Me and my wife and Amanda Jean Dukes Multimedia will be there running the show, and we're going to have a great time. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Everybody, have a great evening.